A constitution is the arrangement of magistrates in a state. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. A friend to all is a friend to none. A likely impossibility is always preferable to an unconvincing possibility. All human actions have one or more of these 7 causes: chance, nature, compulsions, habit, reason, passion, desire. All human beings, by nature, desire to know. All men by nature desire knowledge. Anybody can become angry, that is easy, but to be angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power and is not easy. At his best, man is the noblest of all animals; separated from law and justice he is the worst. Change in all things is sweet. Character may almost be called the most effective means of persuasion. Comedy aims at representing men as worse, tragedy as better than in actual life. Criticism is something we can avoid easily by saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing. Courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees the others. Democracy is when the indigent, and not the men of property, are the rulers. Dignity does not consist in possessing honors, but in deserving them. Each man judges well the things he knows. Education is an ornament in prosperity and a refuge in adversity. Equality consists in the same treatment of similar persons. Even when laws have been written down, they ought not always to remain unaltered. Every rascal is not a thief, but every thief is a rascal. Excellence is an art won by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or excellence, but we rather have those because we have acted rightly. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Fear is pain arising from the anticipation of evil. For what is the best choice, for each individual is the highest it is possible for him to achieve. Friendship is essentially a partnership. Good habits formed at youth make all the difference. Happiness is an expression of the soul in considered actions. The unexamined life is not worth living. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. Justice means minding your own business and not meddling with other men's concerns. Better a little which is well done, than a great deal imperfectly. All things will be produced in superior quantity, quality, and with greater ease, when each man works at a single occupation, in accordance with his natural gifts, and at the right moment, without meddling with anything else. He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. As the builders say, the larger stones do not lie well without the lesser. The only true knowledge is self-knowledge. The soul is immortal. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. To be conquered by yourself is of all things most shameful and vile. We are twice armed if we fight with faith. At the touch of love everyone becomes a poet. The measure of a man is what he does with power. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help, and what they cannot. Every heart sings a song, incomplete, until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. He who commits injustice is ever made more wretched than he who suffers it. Knowledge without justice ought to be called cunning rather than wisdom. Necessity, the mother of invention. Death is not the worst that can happen to men. There is no harm in repeating a good thing. Truth is the beginning of every good to the gods, and of every good to man. The punishment which the wise suffer who refuse to take part in the government, is to live under the government of worse men. Science is nothing but perception. Apply yourself both now and in the next life. Without effort, you cannot be prosperous. Though the land be good, you cannot have an abundant crop without cultivation. Love is the joy of the good, the wonder of the wise, the amazement of the gods. Courage is knowing what not to fear. The beginning is the most important part of the work. There are three classes of men: lovers of wisdom, lovers of honor, and lovers of gain. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. It is better to suffer wrong than to do wrong. Know thyself. Beware the barrenness of a busy life. The greatest good is wisdom, and the greatest evil is ignorance. Remember, no human condition is ever permanent. Then you will not be overjoyed in good fortune, nor too sorrowful in misfortune. A life without criticism and status is not a worth living. Be as you wish to seem. Be nicer than necessary to everyone you meet. Everyone is fighting some kind of battle. Be slow to fall into friendship, but when you are in, continue firm and constant. Contentment is natural wealth. To find yourself, think for yourself. Envy is the ulcer of the soul. Every action has its pleasures and its price. Everything is plainer when spoken than when unspoken. Death may be the greatest of all human blessings. I cannot teach anybody anything that I can only make them think. Sometimes you put up walls not to keep people out, but to see who cares enough to break them down. When the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. From the deepest desires often come the deadliest hate. Get not your friends by bare compliments, but by giving them sensible tokens of your love. He who is not contented with what he has, would not be contented with what he would like to have. He who would change the world should first change himself. I know that I am intelligent because I know that I know nothing. Employ your time in improving yourself by other men's writings so that you shall come easily by what others have labored hard for. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. The only good is knowledge, and the only evil is ignorance. If you don't get what you want, you suffer. If you get what you don't want, you suffer. Even when you get exactly what you want, you still suffer because you can't hold on to it forever. Your mind is your predicament. It wants to be free of change, free of pain, free of the obligations of life and death. But change is law, and no amount of pretending will alter that reality. True wisdom comes to each of us when we realize how little we understand about life, ourselves, and the world around us. Strong minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, weak minds discuss people. Education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. The only thing I know is that I know nothing. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. The more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. Wisdom begins in wonder. I was really too honest a man to be a politician and live. I am not Athenian, or a Greek. I am a citizen of the world. The unexamined life is not worth living. Remember that there is nothing stable in human affairs, therefore avoid undue elation in prosperity, or undue depression in adversity.